At Lindsey Graham's funeral this week, President Trump said everybody loved Lindsey Graham. Well, maybe not everyone. Actually, he said some people. Most people didn't like him. We all want to say nice things about people. The important thing is that we're in relationship with them anyway. None of us have to worry about offending anyone anymore because everyone is already offended. In Evan Turlock's article in the New York Times this week, he said blue is apparently the favorite color of AI based on current data. When I worked with Fashion Buyer at Bergner Weisey department store in Rockford, they said they always ordered more blue shirts, blouses, and sweaters because blue always sold out first. Everyone loves blue. Well, maybe not everybody, some people. Everyone needs to live and die their own authentic way. When you grasp that, it's easy not to be judgmental. Sometimes the best opinion is to have no opinion at all. No one's going through this life alone. We're all going through it together in our own unique way. Welcome. Welcome to Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Coffee Hour, we talk about everything and nothing. Recently, we talked about going to Ravinia, serving on jury duty, being impartial, making sense of things, and having an unhinged fixation. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Genesis. No one should work for free unless you're getting paid for it. And from Romans, the predestined and the elect. Nobody voted for it. The gospel reading was from Matthew. The kingdom of heaven is like a lot of things, but we won't know for sure until we get there. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral was by Spencer Brown. Spencer said as a kid, doing our homework was the last thing we wanted to think about on summer vacation. Doing homework is more about finding our way through it than it is about finding any particular answer. The process of learning requires patience and understanding. Spencer said Christ invites us into the awe and wonder as a way to teach us. Inviting us into his pain and suffering is the way he shares his human experience with us and with his Father. We live in the world of instant gratification. None of us want to die for it, change our minds for it, or look foolish because of it. We're not supposed to throw out the old. The old is supposed to be the fulfillment of time before us. We can see the new as the promise of that which is yet to come. To be patient, kind, and generous brings us into the realm of God. And then it brings God into the world right now. It's always happening. Otherwise, the world would be unbearable. The Father is always with you if you have faith, and God is permeating the world at all times. It's the predestination of those who came before us and the elect of those who are yet to come. Spencer said the evidence of this is that the church has transcended the ages for everyone's benefit. Whether you believe that or not, did your homework, or have spent a lifetime being a good person. Love knocks down all the walls in our lives and in the life of the world. It can't be contained by human hands or government policies. There is no right or wrong answer, and nothing that can stand in God's ways. At St. James Cathedral here in Chicago, Rachel First preached her first sermon as intern at St. James about being sisters in the Bible and in real life. We always hear the stories of the Bible from more of a patriarchal viewpoint and rarely from the point of view of women. Rachel said often their stories end in silence. The story of Rachel and Leah in the Bible is kind of a sordid story of marginalized women in a patriarchal world, even though Rachel didn't really say that. Instead, she focused on the relationship between the people involved in the sordid story, their relationship and the glimpses of love here and there. There's sometimes a fine line between manipulation and exploitation and love. Even poetry can't camouflage some difficult life realities. Life isn't always fair, honest, or just. How we respond makes all the difference. Rachel said, we often come across a bad situation and have to make the best of it by speaking up when necessary, resorting to subterfuge when required, and conspiring to get something accomplished. No one wants to lie, cheat, and steal, but sometimes God can commend us for doing just that. Solomon in the Bible asked for wisdom, and he got riches as part of the deal. Jacob wanted a wife, and he got two in the process. At the same time, a multitude of descendants. We don't always know the outcomes of our actions until it's too late. We accept the gifts of our labors, letting our beings be filled with joy, not because we deserve it or earned it, but because it's part of the deal. At Lindsey Graham's funeral this week, they said he was a real hawk. He never met a war he didn't like. That says a lot. He had strong views of what was right and what was wrong, and making the world a better place by getting rid of what was wrong. Walgreens stores and grocery stores are closing here on Chicago's South Side due to retail theft. Is that a crime problem or a poverty problem? President Trump wants to send in forces to solve the problem, but is that really the answer? At St. James, we're still worshiping in the basement because the sanctuary is being refitted for the new organ. I like the basement because it's plain and simple. A visitor to St. James on Sunday told me that Episcopalians are more literal than spiritual, and the Roman Catholic Church, perhaps more spiritual. That's why people push back against the Roman Catholic Church, because they don't like being told what to do. At a funeral, we all want to hear nice things. We all want to agree on everything, but that's not how life works. If you're going through life alone, it can sound like someone telling you what to do. And if you're more spiritual, it can make perfect sense. Dr. Fauci invoked the fifth code of silence this week in his testimony before Congress. He said they were having an unhinged fixation on him, and he's not interested in incriminating himself. The scientific method is all about following the process, but it doesn't always have the best bedside manner. The lanes of traffic were blocked on Lakeshore Drive last Sunday because a motorcyclist crashed in the median and was killed. It's summertime, and cruising down Lakeshore Drive in the open air is probably a glorious thing. We all need to live and die in a way that's authentic to us. Everyone is doing just that. We can respect that. We're not alone on this journey. Whether you see that as something to be out on the lookout for, we can all do that, and also looking out for God's presence in our life and the life of others. If you would like to join us at coffee hour, I will include my email in the description of this video. I'd be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.